Hello, and welcome to the Live Wisely Stoicism channel, your meeting point with the wisdom of Stoicism. Here, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you'll find powerful and practical reflections to transform your life and achieve serenity amid chaos. If you're looking to live with more purpose and clarity, be sure to leave a like, share this video with someone who needs to hear this message, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you never miss any content. Let's embark on this journey of self-discovery and growth together. Building relationships with others is an experience full of complexities and challenges that often escape our control. The expectations we create regarding others frequently clash with reality, leading to frustration and disillusionment. Accepting these harsh truths about human nature not only frees you from the chains of frustration, but also opens doors to a more balanced life. In this video, we will explore how understanding and accepting these inevitabilities can bring more clarity and serenity to your life, based on the principles of Stoicism. Human nature and disappointment. A harsh reality is that, at some point in life, we will all face disappointment. This doesn't mean that the world is conspiring against you, but rather that it is a natural consequence of the human condition. Understanding this truth can be uncomfortable, but it is a crucial step in better handling relationships and the expectations we create regarding the people around us. When we hold high expectations for the behavior of others, we are, in fact, setting ourselves up for future frustrations. It's common to believe that people will act as we expect, but each individual has their own worldview, shaped by personal experiences, values, and motivations. Accepting this diversity of perspectives is crucial to maintaining serenity in the face of disappointment. When faced with disappointment, it is easy to fall into the trap of interpreting the situation as something personal. However, the actions of others usually reflect their own internal struggles rather than any deliberate intent to harm us. The practice of emotional detachment, highly valued in Stoicism, allows us to observe these situations with greater clarity, without being overwhelmed by negative emotions. It's not about becoming insensitive, but about protecting our inner peace. Balancing the understanding of human weaknesses with the protection of our energy is an essential skill. Accepting that everyone has flaws does not mean tolerating harmful behavior. On the contrary, it is vital to establish boundaries that preserve our well-being while cultivating a healthy indifference to what is beyond our control. Disappointments recur throughout life, leading us to question whether it is worth trusting others. However, it is important to remember that these experiences, though painful, are opportunities for learning and growth. Stoicism teaches us that by accepting human nature, we become more resilient, better prepared to face future adversities with wisdom. Lowering our expectations of others can be liberating. By aligning our expectations with reality, we significantly reduce the risk of disappointment. This doesn't imply adopting a cynical attitude, but rather a realistic one. True control lies in our responses, not in the behavior of others. This perspective gives us the freedom to live more lightly, without carrying the burden of unrealistic expectations. Understanding the nature of human relationships is fundamental to navigating life with greater balance. Knowing that disappointments are inevitable prepares us to handle them more effectively. When we stop expecting perfection from others and accept their flaws as part of the human experience, we find more peace and less frustration along the way. Accepting human nature is a powerful tool for achieving inner peace. This doesn't mean we should tolerate toxic behavior, but rather that by understanding that everyone has limitations, we can choose how to react and, if necessary, distance ourselves to protect our tranquility. Stoic philosophy. The philosophy that shapes a serene and resilient life is the same one that teaches us to take control over our reactions. Over the centuries, this approach has served as a guide for dealing with life's uncertainties and disappointments. While we cannot control the actions of others, we are the masters of our responses. This distinction is essential to finding balance amid chaos. When someone hurts us, it's natural to feel a wave of negative emotions. However, this philosophy invites us to pause and reflect before acting. True power lies in how we choose to respond, not in trying to change the behavior of others. By mastering our reactions, we find a source of inner strength that no one can take away from us. Applying these teachings to everyday life involves recognizing that external circumstances are beyond our control. What we can control is our mind and our actions. This understanding frees us from the need to manipulate the world around us, allowing us to focus on what truly matters, our attitude towards challenges. Adopting this stance teaches us to cultivate a healthy indifference towards events that are beyond our control. This is not synonymous with apathy, but rather with a calm acceptance of what is. When we understand that we cannot control others, we become less vulnerable to emotional upheavals. Another important lesson is the ability to separate what we can influence from what we cannot. This simple mental practice helps us prioritize our actions, investing our energy in what truly makes a difference. By focusing on what is within our reach, we avoid wasting emotional resources on situations beyond our control. This philosophy is essentially practical, offering concrete tools to face daily challenges and transform abstract theories into real actions. When we are hurt or disappointed, applying these principles helps protect our emotional well-being. This approach strengthens us, creating a barrier between our inner balance and the actions of others, reminding us of the importance of maintaining the correct perspective. Instead of focusing on others' flaws, we should seek to learn from each situation, recognizing that each disappointment is an opportunity for growth and evolution. Perfection is an illusion, and we should focus on what truly matters. Practicing these virtues encourages us to act with justice, wisdom, and courage, regardless of external circumstances. True strength lies in maintaining our integrity, even in the face of difficult challenges. To further deepen our understanding of how to apply Stoicism in daily life, we can explore resources that can transform our approach to adversities and help cultivate a more balanced life. Investing in personal development is an opportunity to find new ways to face challenges with serenity. Facing life's harshest truths may seem daunting, but it is essential for achieving a more balanced and mindful existence. The realities we often avoid are those that, when accepted, lead us to genuine emotional freedom. This approach is vital for personal growth and central to Stoicism. Resisting life's inevitabilities only prolongs suffering. Recognizing that certain aspects are beyond our control, such as the actions of others or inevitable obstacles, helps us cultivate inner peace. Accepting these conditions does not demonstrate weakness, but rather wisdom and maturity. Allowing things to be as they are, without trying to mold them to our desires, prevents frustration. This philosophy teaches us to strengthen our resilience by accepting what cannot be changed. Acknowledging our limits and understanding that we do not control everything directs us to areas where we can truly make a difference. This shift in perspective frees us from feelings of helplessness, offering a new form of power over our lives. Part of this process involves revising our expectations. By freeing ourselves from the idea that life will always be fair or that people will act according to our standards, we significantly reduce the risk of disappointment. This mindset prepares us to face life's challenges with greater resilience. Facing reality also means adjusting the way we handle suffering. While suffering is an unavoidable part of the human experience, it is our response to it that defines the quality of our lives. Acceptance allows us to view suffering as a temporary phase, something that teaches and strengthens us, rather than destroys us. This understanding extends to the perception that our struggles are not unique. Everyone faces challenges and disappointments, and recognizing this brings us closer to others, creating a sense of connection. Accepting life circumstances makes us more empathetic, capable of offering support to those who are also facing difficulties. This discernment drives us to live authentically. When we accept life's conditions, we shed the masks we use to hide our vulnerabilities, freeing ourselves to be genuine with all our imperfections and challenges, without fear of judgment. This acceptance also paves the way for gratitude. When we let go of trying to control the uncontrollable, we begin to value what we have, no matter how simple it may be. This shift in perspective helps us live with greater satisfaction and less anxiety. This practice is a powerful ally in achieving inner peace. Understanding that life is full of uncertainties and challenges, and that we have the power to choose how to react, gives us the serenity needed to face any situation with courage and dignity. Suffering is a part of the human experience, something that everyone faces at some point in life. While it is impossible to avoid suffering completely, it is essential to understand that the way we react to it is within our control. This understanding allows us to view pain not as an end in itself, but as an opportunity for growth and strengthening. Pain can be seen as a relentless adversary, but also as a patient teacher. When we accept suffering as a natural part of life, we begin to view difficulties in a new light. Instead of fleeing from or trying to avoid them at all costs, we can learn to confront these situations with courage and determination, extracting valuable lessons from them. What often makes suffering more intense is not the pain itself, but our resistance to it. Struggling against the inevitable can prolong and intensify distress. Instead, by embracing pain and accepting it as part of our journey, we begin to dissipate the fear and anguish that accompany it, making way for healing and transformation. One of the main ways to deal with suffering is to maintain serenity in the face of adversity. This does not imply ignoring the importance of security and tranquility, but rather understanding that excessive comfort can become an obstacle to progress. True personal growth happens when we challenge ourselves, step out of our comfort zone, and face the unknown. It is in this environment of uncertainty that the most valuable opportunities for evolution arise. Remaining in the comfort zone may offer a temporary sense of security, but can also trap us in a cycle of stagnation. Progress requires movement, acceptance of challenges, and willingness to face the possibility of failure. Whenever we avoid a challenge out of fear of stepping out of our comfort zone, we are actually depriving ourselves of a growth opportunity. Personal and professional evolution often requires sacrifices, such as giving up immediate comfort for a more promising future. This might involve facing fears, learning new skills, or even completely changing the direction of our lives. Although this process may be uncomfortable, the results are often highly rewarding for those seeking a full and meaningful life. It is crucial to understand that progress rarely occurs in familiar territory. It takes courage to face the new, take risks, and accept that failure is part of the journey. Each challenge overcome strengthens our resilience and prepares us for even greater challenges. Comfort, on the other hand, can deceive us into believing we are secure when, in fact, we are moving away from our true potential. True security does not come from avoidance, but from the ability to confront and overcome the challenges life presents. The more we get used to stepping out of our comfort zone, the more confident we become in our ability to handle the unknown. This mindset does not involve seeking discomfort recklessly, but rather recognizing the value it brings to our evolution. By adopting this perspective, we transform discomfort into an ally, a tool that pushes us beyond our limits and helps us achieve the progress we desire. Ultimately, comfort is a temporary state, while progress is an ongoing process. To live a truly satisfying life, it is necessary to balance the desire for comfort with the need for growth. This allows us not only to survive, but also to thrive, living in accordance with our true potential. Additionally, accepting that not everyone will like us is fundamental. The expectation to please everyone is a common source of frustration and disappointment, as it is impossible to please everyone. Trying to do so drains our energy and compromises our authenticity. Recognizing this reality frees us, allowing us to focus on what truly matters. When we seek to please everyone, we often betray ourselves, molding our actions and words to others' expectations and losing sight of our own needs and values. This results in a life lived for others, leading to dissatisfaction and a lack of purpose. Accepting that not everyone will like us is crucial for living more authentically. By ceasing to seek universal approval, we gain the freedom to be who we truly are, which strengthens our self-esteem and attracts people who appreciate our true essence, creating more genuine and meaningful connections. This shift in mindset also allows us to save time and energy, focusing our efforts on relationships and activities that truly matter. Concentrating on what makes us happy and what is important to us leads to a fuller and more satisfying life. Understanding that not everyone will like us also helps us develop greater resilience to criticism and rejection. By accepting that universal approval is unattainable, we become less vulnerable to others' judgments, gaining the courage to follow our own paths, even if they go against others' expectations. Practicing self-compassion facilitates this acceptance. Instead of blaming ourselves for not being accepted by everyone, we can remember that this is merely part of the human condition. Everyone has their own preferences and biases, but this does not define our value or importance. Acceptance also brings greater clarity to our relationships. When we set aside the desire to please everyone, we can more easily discern who genuinely supports us and shares our values, building a stronger and more authentic support network based on mutual acceptance and respect. By embracing this truth, we find an inner peace that cannot be shaken by others' opinions. We know who we are, what we value, and what we seek in life, and this self-understanding gives us the strength to move forward, regardless of what others may think. Ultimately, it is important to understand that discomfort, often seen as something to be avoided, is actually one of the main drivers of personal growth. It is in moments of difficulty that we are forced to step out of our comfort zone and face new realities. These challenges, though uncomfortable, are what enable us to evolve and reach new heights in our journey. When we embrace discomfort, we begin to view challenging situations from a new perspective. From this new perspective, instead of avoiding discomfort, we should recognize it as an opportunity to expand our skills and strengthen our character. Every time we face something that makes us uncomfortable, we are actually taking a step toward our own development. Growth rarely occurs in familiar territory, To advance, it is necessary to accept the uncertainties and challenges that arise along the way. By confronting discomfort, we have the chance to reinvent ourselves, discover new capabilities, and redefine our limits. This process, though difficult, is crucial for those who wish to live a fulfilling and meaningful life. Accepting discomfort as part of the growth process also better prepares us to handle life's adversities. When we become accustomed to facing the new and unknown, we become more resilient and less susceptible to the impact of difficulties. This resilience allows us to continue moving forward, even when the situation seems untenable. Embracing discomfort also frees us from the fear of failure, as we understand that each challenge is a learning opportunity. The fear of making mistakes diminishes when we know that, regardless of the outcome, we will emerge from the experience stronger and better prepared for the next challenge. Discomfort is an indicator that we are growing. If everything were easy and comfortable, there would be no need for change or adaptation. Therefore, every time we experience discomfort, we can view it as a sign that we are on the right path toward becoming a better version of ourselves. Time is one of the few constants in life, always advancing regardless of circumstances. It does not wait for anyone, and this reality can be both a blessing and a curse, depending on how we choose to use it. By recognizing the relentless nature of time, we realize the importance of living it with intention and purpose. Every passing moment is an opportunity either missed or seized. Time cannot be recovered, so it is vital that we are aware of how we use it. Frequently, we let time slip away while worrying about things beyond our control, such as the actions of others or uncertainties about the future. However, by focusing on the present and what we can control, we give time the value it deserves. Seeing time as a finite resource leads us to appreciate our daily choices more. Each decision and action we take is an investment of our time, and it is essential that we make these choices wisely, prioritizing what truly matters to us. This urgency created by the passage of time helps us set aside distractions and concerns that prevent us from making the most of life. When we recognize that time does not wait, we become more selective about what we choose to focus on. This mindset allows us to live with greater presence, making the most of each moment rather than wasting it on trivial worries. Another consequence of understanding the nature of time is the motivation to act. Knowing that time is not on our side encourages us not to procrastinate and to face challenges head-on. Stoicism teaches us that we must act now, in the present, as it is the only moment we truly possess. Delaying what is important is wasting a time that will never come back. It is also important to remember that time teaches us the value of detachment. People, things, and situations are all subject to the passage of time. Nothing is permanent, and this impermanence reminds us not to cling to what will inevitably change or disappear. Accepting this truth helps us live more lightly, without the unnecessary burden of trying to hold onto what cannot be held. Living with an awareness of time gives us a clearer perspective on what really matters. By realizing that our days are limited, we become more intentional about how we choose to spend them. This intentionality allows us to create a life that is more aligned with our values and purposes, less dictated by external expectations. The passage of time teaches us the importance of leaving a legacy. What we do with our time today will echo into the future, affecting not only our lives but also the lives of those around us. By living with purpose and intention, we can ensure that the time we spend here is meaningful, leaving a lasting impact. Failure is a word that many avoid because it carries considerable emotional weight. However, it is an inherent and inevitable part of any meaningful journey. No path to success is free of obstacles, and it is often in moments of failure that we find the greatest opportunities for growth and evolution. These moments, which may initially seem like defeats, are actually catalysts for deeper and more significant development. When we shift our perspective on failure, we begin to see it not as an endpoint but as a crucial step toward our goals. Each time we face failure, it is natural for our first reaction to be discouragement or frustration, as we all have a tendency to avoid pain and discomfort. However, it is essential to remember that failure does not define us as individuals. What truly matters is how we respond to these adverse situations. Each failure should be viewed as a valuable learning opportunity, a chance to acquire new knowledge, reconsider our strategies, and adjust our course to keep moving forward. Failure offers us the unique opportunity to review and refine our approaches. It is in this continuous process of trial and error that true progress happens. Stoicism, a philosophy that values acceptance of reality, teaches us to view failure as a natural and inevitable part of life, rather than something to be feared or avoided at all costs. We should embrace failure as an opportunity for personal and professional growth, as each mistake brings us closer to success, provided we are open to learning from these errors and making the necessary adjustments to our course. Moreover, failure teaches us an essential lesson: humility. By recognizing that we are not infallible, we develop a more realistic view of ourselves and the world around us. This humility is a vital ingredient for continuous learning and collaboration with others, both fundamental to achieving long-term success. By embracing failure and the lessons it offers, we become stronger, more resilient, and better prepared to face the challenges that will inevitably arise in the future. This ability to rise after each fall is what distinguishes those who eventually achieve success from those who give up at the first sign of difficulty. One of the most valuable aspects of failure is the resilience it teaches and strengthens over time. Each time we face and overcome failure, we develop a greater ability to recover and move forward, even in the face of the most challenging adversities. This resilience becomes one of the essential foundations for success, as it gives us the strength to continue advancing, even when obstacles seem insurmountable. Instead of allowing difficulties to paralyze us, resilience empowers us to view them as opportunities for growth, helping us evolve and better prepare for future challenges. Additionally, failure plays a crucial role in forcing us out of our comfort zones. When things are going well, it is easy to fall into the trap of complacency, avoiding the pursuit of new challenges that could push us beyond our current limits. However, it is precisely in moments of failure that we are compelled to re-evaluate our approaches, think innovatively, and take risks in new directions. This process of discomfort is often the fertile ground where the most creative solutions and innovative ideas emerge, paving the way for true success. It is through overcoming these difficulties that we find the courage to explore the unknown and the wisdom to learn from our mistakes. Each failure, when faced with the right mindset, becomes a springboard for growth and personal development. By allowing ourselves to fail, we not only expand our resilience but also cultivate the ability to turn challenges into opportunities, strengthening ourselves for future steps on our journey to success. Failure also teaches us the importance of persistence. Those who achieve success rarely do so on their first attempt. The ability to keep trying, to rise after each fall, distinguishes those who succeed from those who give up. Persisting in the face of failure is a sign of true strength and determination, qualities essential for achieving any significant goal. Expectations are a natural part of human relationships, but when not managed properly, they can be a primary source of disappointment. By expecting people to act in a certain way or for life to follow exactly as planned, we put ourselves in a vulnerable position. This vulnerability often manifests as frustration and disillusionment when things do not turn out as imagined. Setting high expectations can be a trap. This does not mean that we should stop aspiring to anything, but that we need to be aware of our expectations and the impact they have on our emotions. The more expectations we place on something or someone, the greater the risk of being disappointed. Understanding this is essential for cultivating a more balanced and resilient mindset. The practice of detachment from expectations is one of the central teachings of Stoicism. By learning to accept reality as it is, rather than how we wish it to be, we free ourselves from much of the unnecessary suffering. This does not imply passivity, but rather a focus on what we can control, our actions and reactions, not the outcomes that are beyond our reach. When we adjust our expectations, we give ourselves the chance to appreciate things as they truly are, rather than being disappointed by what they are not. This shift in perspective allows us to find satisfaction in moments that might otherwise be seen as failures or disappointments. It is a way to protect our inner peace and live more harmoniously. Poorly managed expectations can harm our relationships. When we expect too much from others, we might end up putting undue pressure on them, which can lead to strain and deterioration of relationships. Understanding and accepting human limitations helps us nurture healthier and more genuine connections, based on mutual understanding and empathy. Another consequence of high expectations is excessive self-criticism. When we set unattainable standards for ourselves, we risk becoming our own worst critics, creating a cycle of self-sabotage where the fear of failure prevents us from taking action. Learning to be kind to ourselves and recognizing that failure is part of the growth process is essential to overcoming this obstacle. By letting go of the expectations we place on ourselves, others, and the circumstances around us, we make space for gratitude to flourish in our lives. Putting aside what we believe should happen, our idealizations and perfect scenarios, allows us to fully appreciate what is actually happening in the present. This shift in perspective leads us to value the small and big blessings that often go unnoticed when we are focused on unmet expectations. When we free ourselves from the constraints of what should be, we allow gratitude to take center stage, providing a deep sense of satisfaction and contentment. In this state of gratitude, we can live more fully, experiencing each moment with greater intensity and presence, free from the constant shadow of disappointment and disillusionment. Facing the harsh truths about people and situations around us can be a challenging and often uncomfortable task. However, accepting these realities is essential for living a fuller, more balanced, and satisfying life. When we understand and internalize these truths, we break free from the constant cycle of frustration that arises when our expectations are not met. This acceptance allows us to cultivate a deeper inner peace as we become more resilient in the face of the adversities and imperfections that inevitably arise on our path. By applying Stoic principles to our daily lives, we gain valuable tools for dealing with imperfections and uncertainties in a more balanced and serene manner. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what is within our control, our attitudes, reactions, and choices, and to accept with serenity what is beyond our control. This approach helps us maintain calm and mental clarity, even amid challenges and setbacks, strengthening our ability to navigate life with wisdom and balance. Thus, by incorporating these teachings into our routine, we not only improve our emotional response to difficulties, but also move closer to a more harmonious and satisfying life.